What's up everyone, Kyle says now, welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be doing some fantasy booking. I'm booking my kind of dream Money in the Bank 2023 card. I am going to Money in the Bank. I have tickets to SmackDown Night before. It's my first PLE. It is my first TV taping SmackDown will be. So I'm excited. This is a video I've been wanting to make ever since I got those tickets. It's a good thing I did decide to wait, because since then, we've had title changes, we've had drafts. So now that next week that we have announced Money in the Bank qualifiers will begin, there's no better time to get this video done than now, before we actually start to see the real card getting put together. And I know there's been some leaked lineups for Money in the Bank that I've seen out there and some stuff. I haven't really included them. There's one match that I have that because it is what I would like to see. How many matches do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, I've gotten an 8-match card, which I feel like is fair. I feel like the card will be around 7 or 8 matches. That's normally what it is for a PLE. So I feel like that's a good number of matches. So yeah, let's kind of get into it, and I'll kind of go in order of how I would book the show and format the show. And we're going to start with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. And yeah, this is what I think will happen. It's what I want to happen. And like I said, there have been some rumored lineups that are kind of different from mine, but this is what I would like to see. And of course, I just kind of stuck to a certain number. I went for 8 in each Money in the Bank because that is what it was the last year. There are people that I've left out that I would like to see in that, so maybe I could have upped it to like 10. But yeah, we're going to start women's Money in the Bank, because I always feel like start with Money in the Bank, maybe possibly end one with Money in the Bank, or have one midway through, depending on what you want, these cash-ins and stuff. So yeah, I'm going to open the show with the women's Money in the Bank. I have 4 from SmackDown, 4 from Raw. So first up, I have Io Sky. Where do I start with Io? Fantastic wrestler. I feel like she's due a push, and I feel like we're getting there. Of course, she did challenge Bianca Belair at Backlash. Of course, teasing the split up of Damage Control as well, which will play into this match. Yeah, Io, perfect. I feel like style-wise for Money in the Bank, high flyer. I feel like, she'll do like some moonsaults and stuff. Possibly the favourite to win it. I feel like a lot of people are behind Io, and I would love to see Io win Money in the Bank. And I feel like now's a good time, you kind of start to build up with that Bianca feud. Now capitalize on it, keep going, keep building it, have her win Money in the Bank. And yeah, she would be my pick to win this one. Yeah, I feel like she'd be a great person to have in Money in the Bank. And relating to Io, the next person I would have in is Bayley. Again, building up that Damage Control split, especially now that Dakota Kai's out injured. I feel like now would be a good time to run Bayley and Io throughout the summer. Then we can lead to maybe Dakota coming back. I know it's in ACL, so we're looking a long time out for Dakota. So yes, which is sad, because I would have had Dakota in here as well. I would have had her play into this as well. But yeah, I'd have Bayley in here. Maybe have Io and Bayley come down to the final 2 at the top of the ladder. Bayley tries to turn on Io, knocks her off, but Io comes back and knocks Bayley off instead. There's a lot of good story elements you could tell between Bayley and Io. And even if you didn't want to have Io win, you could have Bayley cost her and play into it that way. I've also gone for Mia Yim. For both Money in the Bank matches, I've gone for people who are kind of at the world title level already, people who could win and challenge for the world title, and then people that are just below, who with a bit of solid booking could be at that world that championship level. And Mia Yim is someone I feel like is in that bracket just below. She's a great wrestler, and we all know how Mia Yim can go, but she just hasn't had a lot since coming back. So throw her in Money in the Bank, and give her a bit of a platform to shine. Same goes for Zelina Vega. Zelina, of course, come off that Backlash match against Rhea Ripley. Again, like Io, her high flying ability will play well into a ladder match. I think she could do some very good stuff. And again, building on that Backlash match, like Io, continue that momentum and continue going. I think Zelina will be a great performer to put in this match. Next up, moving over on to kind of the Raw side of things in this Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, I've gone for Candice LeRae. Maybe it's a bit biased, but I'm a big Candice LeRae fan, and I've wanted WWE to do stuff with her for years. So I'm hoping this is kind of like see her in this spot, like get her a bit of a chance to shine. Again, I feel like her style again plays well into a ladder match. She's a bit of a high flyer. She can do some, good stuff using a ladder. Yeah, I'd really like to see Candice LeRae in here. Zoe Stark then, just a recent NXT call-up, of course, beat Candice on Raw. So again, you can kind of play off that into this match. Again, someone I feel like is just called up, give her a bit of strong booking, put her in these big matches, let her kind of showcase her moveset. And I feel like her style as well is another one that plays well into the ladder match style, and again I feel like could be a good showcase for her. Next up, Nikki Cross plays into the Candice LeRae story. Of course I mentioned Zoe Stark beating Candice, but that came from Nikki trying to hug Candice, which allowed Zoe to capitalize, get the win. So again, you can play off that story with Nikki and Candice that they've kind of slow burned for months. We've seen backstage stuff of like Nikki stalking Candice in the way and stuff like that. And I feel like you could, again, story element, play off that into this ladder match. Maybe Nikki trying to earn Candice's appreciation, tries to help Candice win and stuff. Again, I feel like there's a lot of good stuff you could do there with Nikki Cross. Again, in the UK, she's from Scotland, so could get a great reaction as well from the crowd, and someone maybe the crowd there would get behind. And yeah, last up in the 8th and final participant in this match I've gone for is none other than Becky Lynch, the man. Again, someone who could possibly end up winning this thing. Probably one of the biggest definitely one of the biggest names. I was about to say probably the biggest name in the women's division. Becky Lynch, the man. She's never won Money in the Bank. I know that she's kind of talked about that recently. Maybe she's in this and Trish Stratus comes and costs her, which again, they have the match at Night Champions this weekend. Rumors that that's going to be extended out to SummerSlam, so that is something they could do. And yeah, as I mentioned, I'd probably have Io win. US title match that I've booked for the show, Austin Theory defending against Pete Dunne / Butch, whatever you want. This is what I would use as kind of the catalyst to slowly transfer, or like move from Butch to Pete Dunne again, from the Butch to the Bruiserweight. It's been speculated, it's been rumoured, I don't know if that's actually what they would do, but this is what I would do. And this is how I'd get there, and I'd actually have him beat Theory for the US title. I was thinking Sheamus and going to go with Sheamus, but then Pete Dunne popped into my head and I was like, that's what I'm going to go with, because Austin Theory will face Sheamus. I believe it's on SmackDown this week before Night of Champions. So then maybe that Theory gets a win, and then that kind of becomes a way to get Pete Dunne involved, and we could kind of go and get the Bruiserweight and giving them a big US title win in the UK. The crowd would be hot for it, and I feel like this could help make Pete Dunne or Butch, whatever you want to call him, as like a potential future player on the main roster. Of course, Pete Dunne would go over and become new US champion. I could also see him just doing Sheamus and Theory. But again, I feel like Sheamus, if you were going to give him a belt, it should be the IC. It's the only one he's not held. It's the one that he's kind of said that he wants. He's had the US title multiple times before. He doesn't really need it again. So yeah, I'd use it to elevate Pete Dunne. Tag team title match. I'm going to go Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I'm going to have them retain at Night of Champions over Roman and Solo. And then I'm going to have them defend against a reunited DIY Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano. What better way to introduce DIY from putting them straight into a tag team feud? Again, this is something that's been rumoured that we'll be seeing DIY return possibly as soon as the night after Night of Champions. So why not have Ciampa and Gargano go straight and earn number one contendership for the tag titles? Sammy and KO, it's going to be a barn burner. It's going to be a banger. Just all those four guys in the ring together, it'll be a classic. one of the best tag matches ever, probably. And yeah, I want to see that Money in the Bank while I'm there. So yeah, just do it. Do it. Of course, again, the way reunion, it's been heavily rumored. It's been kind of teased with, was it last week or a couple of weeks ago on Raw? Johnny Gargano kind of hinted at it, saying he'll be back soon, and the rest of the way we're kind of unsure, which makes us feel like it is Ciampa. And yeah, that is what I would like to see. The Ciampa and Gargano, if you're going to book DIY, have them go straight for the tag belts, go straight after Sami and KO, have a classic series throughout the summer, and it'll be so good. Then I'm going to go for the Raw / SmackDown Women's title. Asuka vs Bianca Belair, a rematch from Night of Champions, a rematch from WrestleMania. Looking at the SmackDown Women's roster, like, can we either get the new belts? I feel like they're waiting for new belts. Otherwise, they would have just swapped them over. Why else would the Raw Women's title still be on SmackDown and vice versa after the draft? I feel like we're waiting for new belts, so hopefully we get that sorted, because it is a bit confusing, dog bro. But yeah, I'd have Asuka win at Night of Champions. Bianca gets a rematch at Money in the Bank. And we go from there. Otherwise, you could take someone out of the Money in the Bank ladder match that I had, and have Bianca in their place, which is also a possibility. But I'd like to see Bianca and Asuka run it back. I'd have Asuka win at Night of Champions, maybe a rematch with a stipulation at Money in the Bank. Because looking at the SmackDown Women's roster, it is kind of a bit, looking at it as like champions, credible champions. You have Asuka, Bianca, Bayley, Io, because I feel like she's ready for that, and Charlotte. Like, Charlotte's been off TV, so I won't have her in that role, because bringing Charlotte back and put her straight into the championship match is a bit yeah, I'd have run Asuka and Bianca back, but with the roles reversed, Bianca coming in as challenger to Asuka as champion. And yeah, we'd have to see where that goes. Of course, that's giving away a spoiler for my Night Champions predictions, which will be dropping tomorrow, because tomorrow will be Thursday. Then we'd have AEW predictions Sunday or Friday. Night Champions is Saturday, so review possibly Sunday. And Double or Not in review then on Monday. So it's why I had to get this out now before Raw to get my predictions. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. Asuka vs Bianca Belair, SmackDown / Raw Women's Championship. That's what I run with here. Then IC Championship, Gunther defending against Damian Priest. Just what more could you want? Gunther, Damian Priest, that just sounds like it would be a banger. Damian Priest again coming off that big match at Backlash against Bad Bunny. Not really doing that at Night Champions. So I'd continue that momentum with him and Gunther. I know they're both heels, but you could do some good stuff with Judgment Day and Imperium in the build. And in the UK, Gunther's going to get a face pop, let's be real. He was there doing a lot of stuff in the UK Indies before his big run as an NXT UK champion. Like, Gunther's probably going to get a big face reaction in the UK anyway, so why not just have him against Damian Priest in a banger? Of course, Gunther retains and gets closer to breaking Honky Tonk Man's record, and Damian Priest gets another big match and a big chance to shine and continues that momentum. And I know WWE officials are high up on him after the Backlash match, and I know he's rumoured to be in the Money in the Bank match, but I'd like to see him against Gunther. And yeah, I just didn't have room for him in my Money in the Bank match. So I'm giving him this big IC title match, because Gunther and Damian Priest sounds like a banger. And looking at the Raw roster, I wasn't really sure what else I'd go with for Gunther. So I just gave him Damian Priest in what should be a great matchup. Then it's the SmackDown Women's title, but the one that's on Raw, the one that's held by Rhea Ripley. I'd have Rhea Ripley defending against Tegan Nox and Piper Niven in a triple threat match. Again, Tegan and Piper, not really a lot, been given a lot recently, not really been on TV. But, Rhea's feud has been, since becoming champion. You had Zelina in Puerto Rico. You have Natalya now in Saudi Arabia. So why not just continue these kind of short build matches with not much behind them? and add Tegan Knox and Piper Niven. Again, Tegan from Wales, Piper from Scotland. They're going to get good reactions from the UK crowd. And I think it'll be a great match. I was thinking Rhea and Piper 1-on-1, but then I thought about Tegan. I was like, I want to throw Tegan Knox in here. And yeah, you could have maybe Tegan take the fall and run Rhea and Piper at SummerSlam. That would be a big match. But yeah, I feel like that'd be a good match. And they haven't really been giving Rhea a lot of like deep stories as champion. I feel like we may as well not just give her like something random, but would be very good. And again, I'd like to see Tegan and Piper get that spotlight, get something to shine, and I think will be a really good matchup. Of course, Rhea would retain. I don't think Piper or Tegan have been built up enough to beat Rhea yet, but I feel like that would be a good match, and it would be something for Tegan and Piper, and something to get people invested in them for. Then I would have the Usos versus Roman and Solo. This is the spoiler alert, this match is actually being heavily rumored to potentially take place at some point. Originally it was rumored for SummerSlam, but then that rumor changed to, well, they might just do that Money in the Bank to free up Roman for a title defense at SummerSlam, which makes sense since Roman is now advertised for Money in the Bank. And I would love to see this match. I'm ready to see some progress in this Bloodline stuff. It was on hold a bit up until Backlash, but since Roman's come back on TV, we've kind of slowly started to slow burn this once again. With the teasing of the split, Roman is more and more annoyed with the Usos. I can see something at Night Champions where it looks like Roman and Solo have the match won against Kevin and Sami. The Usos try and get involved to help Roman, end up costing them, and they end up losing. Because of course I had Sami and KO already on the card to defend the tag titles. Which then will set Roman off, and eventually he will set Solo on the Usos, attacking them, which will then lead to this match at Money in the Bank. And who knows, maybe you could have Jey Uso get a win over Roman Reigns here to set up a match at SummerSlam or something. That's just thrown out there, an idea. But yeah, Roman and Solo versus the Usos, it's a match that's been rumored. It's a match I'd like to see. So it is on my dream fantasy card. And yeah, I'm ready for things to start to pick up again with the Bloodline stuff. Because from probably before Survivor Series, to build into War Games, the whole stuff with Jey and Sami, like Jey not really trusting Sami, then you have him impressing on War Games, earn that respect, then they turn on the Rumble, the Chamber at Montreal, then the tag match at Mania, and of course Roman and Cody at Mania. The Bloodline stuff was hot, it was fresh, it was unbelievable, but since then it has dipped. But yeah, I'm ready for things to pick up again, and I feel like that should happen when the Usos eventually do get kicked out, and I feel like that will pay off here. Again, leading to something at SummerSlam and a possible title defense for Roman, which again is being rumored. And speaking of title defenses, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the belt that will be crowned at Night of Champions. Seth Rollins, I have him going over Seth freaking Rollins, and I have him defending against a returning heel Drew McIntyre. But with being in the UK, will Drew get the heel reaction? I don't know. But I'd like to see Drew come back as a heel, and whether or not he gets that reaction in the UK is another thing. But yeah, I want to see a fresh heel Drew McIntyre, and I feel like him versus Seth Rollins could lead to some great stuff over the world title. The problem you run into here is, do you want Seth to have a 1-month title run and drop the belt to Drew here and give the fans the moment they wanted at Clash of the Castle? Or do you have Drew McIntyre lose another big title match in the UK? So like, that's the only real problem I have here. But I didn't really know. What else would you do with Seth here? But yeah, I'd like to see him and Drew, and a heel Drew McIntyre, like a more aggressive and badass Drew than like kind of stale babyface that we've been getting the last couple of months. So yeah, and again, this would be a great match. Problem is, who do you have go over? Do you have Seth lose the belt after a month? Do you have Drew losing the UK again? It is a tough one, but it's not my job to figure out. I just want to see this match. Personally, I'd probably have Seth go over, even though it won't be the most popular decision in the to happen. But yeah. And then main event, I'd have the men's Money in the Bank match. Again, you could switch around, maybe have the title or maybe have the Bloodline stuff main event. But I'm just going for the men's Money in the Bank because I like when you bookend Money in the Bank with an opener and a main event. It kind of gives you enough time in between to the 2-1 matches, a lot of matches, to where it's not like too much and you have enough time to let it settle and then see the kind of same things again. And yeah, so for the men's Money in the Bank match, Dominic Mysterio, I would love to see Dom in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. I feel like he's the biggest heel in the WWE right now, based on crowd reactions, the amount of heat he gets. Like, can you imagine everyone's laid out, Dominic Mysterio, the only one in the ring, maybe Dominic's laid out, Rhea Ripley comes down, helps him climb the ladder, about to win it, but gets knocked down. Like, imagine the heat Dominic would get just climbing that ladder. The only one looks like he hasn't won. I need to see that. I think that would be fantastic. And you could have Dominic win it legit, and I feel like it would be some great stuff. Him teasing, cashing in and stuff. I wouldn't have win. I have someone else down to win, but like Dominic win Money in the Bank would be something in a good way. And while we're on the topic of Dominic Mysterio, I'd also have Finn Balor here. Again, you could have Finn like help Dom try win it, or Dom try help Finn win it. Like, oh, it'd be so good. Of course, Finn, like, he's someone I really want to be in this new world title picture. Someone that deserves to be there. He's overdue another title run on the main roster. Of course, unfortunate, the first ever Universal Champion. So unfortunate to pick up that injury. Now that we have that World Heavyweight title, he is someone I would like to see hold that belt. He doesn't necessarily need Money in the Bank to do so, but I'd still have him in the match, and you could do some very good stuff here. Same goes for Shinsuke Nakamura, someone again I feel like is overdue a title run on the main roster. Love Shinsuke. I really hope they start to do some stuff with him. And again, now that you have that new world title here, he's someone I would like to see eventually get a run. And again, like Finn, I don't necessarily think he needs Money in the Bank to do so, but again, he's a big name to help fill out this match. And so is Cody Rhodes. I have Cody in here. A lot of people probably don't want to see Cody win Money in the Bank. Or well, actually no, a lot of people would like to see him, but they'd like to see him cash in on Roman and set up a match at SummerSlam that way. Which, if they do, I won't be too mad, but I won't be begging to see that. But that's just personally. I feel like Cody is someone that you could tease win this and get knocked off the ladder at the last second and kind of have that heartbreak and stuff. But yeah, Cody, again, he's a big name in here that could potentially win this. And I don't really know what else to say about Cody. A lot of people want him to finish the story, and having him in Money in the Bank, it could be a good way to get to that, or a good way to tease that and take it away, and set up something different. Maybe, he beats Brock again at Night Champions or something, and Brock comes out and takes him out during the Money in the Bank match. Even though I don't really expect to see Brock in the UK, but you never know. Moving then on over to Grayson Waller in recent NXT call-up. I've gone for Waller in this match. He's, again, someone that I feel like could potentially, not right now, win a world title, especially on SmackDown with Roman Reigns there. But he's someone that I feel like with the right booking, he's right in that upper mid-card level. Or he can be in that upper mid-card level. He just got called up. And it does look like they're setting up something between him and someone else we'll get to in a second. But Waller, I have him in this match because I feel like Money in the Bank is the best place to showcase what Grayson Waller was in NXT. Because Grayson Waller in NXT was all about that viral moment. In NXT, he jumped off ladders. He jumped off cages. And, he would go for that viral moment. And what better place to do that than Money in the Bank? And get that viral moment jumping off a ladder or something. So yeah, that's why I've gone for Grayson Waller. I feel like he's someone that will benefit from being in the Money in the Bank ladder match. It'd be a good way of showcasing what Grayson Waller does and who Grayson Waller is as a character to the main roster audience. And I feel like, again, it would be beneficial to have him in here. And as I said, it looks like they're setting up something between him and AJ Styles, who is my next man in this match. Of course, that means he loses and Night Champions to Seth Rollins, which we already covered. But yeah, it looks like on the Grayson Waller effect, they did kind of set up something between AJ and Grayson. And they also kind of have set up AJ and Karrion Kross. But yeah, if you are going AJ and Grayson, you could continue it here and tell a good story. Again, AJ, a big name in this match that doesn't necessarily need to win Money in the Bank, but could also be someone who could win it. And, you know, I'm not against AJ getting another world title run. He's someone who could have a great another world title run. Then I've gone for the Rated R Superstar Edge. There's a lot of talk of Edge coming towards the end of his career, so what better way to have him than one last Money in the Bank match? The guy who basically helped make Money in the Bank what it is now, from an on-screen point of view, the ultimate opportunist, the first ever Money in the Bank winner, first man to ever cash in Money in the Bank the way he did. Like, I feel like it makes sense if this is coming towards the end of Edge's career. I'd love to see him wrestle in person. I've never seen him, so again, maybe that a bit biased on that end. But again, you need, like, I feel like Edge, one last Money in the Bank match before he goes. I just really want to see that, and especially when I'm going to be there for it, and I get to see Edge wrestle live for the first time. Then yeah, and again, you could play into in the World Title Tournament he's playing up. I don't know how long I've got. Like, I'm coming towards the end. I want to have that one last run with the belt that I had to give up. And, you know, maybe he uses Money in the Bank as his way to get there. Where, like, again, you don't have to have him win it. But that could be his reason for wanting to be in Money in the Bank, wanting to win Money in the Bank. And then, last but not least, I've gone for everyone's favourite to win it, LA Knight. Yeah! What more to say about LA Knight? He is a megastar in waiting. He just, like, Money in the Bank is the best type of thing for someone like LA Knight. Someone, like, this is what I always view Money in the Bank as, something that can elevate someone who's just at that level beneath, ready to break through. This is their way of getting to that main event spot. And I feel like that is what LA Knight needs. Again, he is online favourite to win it. I'm not sure about rumours wise. I know he is one of the people that I've seen considered. But yeah, I feel like LA Knight should be in this and probably should win it. And you could set up some great stuff. LA Knight would be someone that would be great to see try cash in and tease cashing in and walk around with the briefcase and have a long run with the briefcase while also continuing to build him up to that level from to eventually be champion. And yeah, with there being 2 belts, you don't have to worry about him trying to cash in on Roman and losing, like the problem you had with Theory, where like LA Knight isn't at the level where he should be beating Roman yet. Like, it's not against LA Knight, it's just how big Roman's been built up, and him losing needs to be big, and it shouldn't just be like a sneaky Money in the Bank cash in. So that's like a positive of having this new world title. So like you could have like, you know, with pay-per-views being dual branded, you can just have him sneak in and cash in on the Raw belt, and maybe that leads to him going over to Raw and stuff. But yeah, I'd love to see LA Knight in this, and I'd love to see him win it. I just want to throw out a few honourable mentions of people that I would like to see in the Money in the Bank match, but again, for numbers wise, I had to leave out. You know, I feel like someone like a Bronson Reed would be great in this match. That could really benefit him. Chad Gable, I love Chad Gable. He's, again, someone who's ready, willing, and Gable for that kind of maybe give him a mid-card title run, and which leads to him eventually being a future world champion. Like, Gable deserves a singles push. He's been underutilized for so long. I think he could be someone else that would be great to have Money in the Bank. Sheamus, again, I've kind of already talked about Sheamus, but not in a match. But yeah, again, I'd love to see Sheamus being Irish. Bit biased, love Sheamus. And again, I won't mind seeing him in the Money in the Bank match. But yeah, that's kind of it for this video. Let me know in the comment section below what you think, what your dream Money in the Bank card would be. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.